All right, India England T20 series match number one seemed like it was the Indian bowler show as well as the Abhishek Sharma show. Quite an easy dub for India.
Yeah, very comfortable win for India. Nonetheless, I think it was an exciting game, a lot of different storylines, and it's nice to see England and India after some time.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Usually see all the English cricketers in the IPL clothing, but it's good to see them in the England red and blue. Um, expected more of a fight from England, especially with the bat. They came in to bat. I think India won the toss. They decided to put England in. And well, before we get into England's batting lineup, I was a little surprised at India's squad selection. And I think we went through our selections and both of us had the same team, if I'm not mistaken. But neither of us predicted India would just play one out and out fast bowler in Arshdeep.
Yes, no. We all were very excited to perhaps maybe see Shami early on in the series, or even another bowler, right? Fast bowler. But no, India stuck with the spinning options, and I think the combination of Bishnoi, Axar Patel, and Varun Chakravarti, where it was deadly for the game and something that we did not expect. Do you think India should maybe look at keeping this combination going forward, or do you think obviously adjust as the pitches come about?
I think they just got to adjust as the pitches come about. You would have thought they would have played Mohammad Shami, but I guess they're keep making us all wait for that comeback. If anything, they play one of the fast bowlers instead of. It's either going to be Chakravarti or Bishnoi. I don't know how you leave out Chakravarti at this one. I think he's India's
Ah,
number one. He's India's number one spinner, in my opinion. I don't know how you leave him out. If you're leaving him out, you're leaving out Bishnoi. Akshar's a lock. He's the vice captain, all rounder. So yeah, I think it depends on the pitch.
yeah, no, I agree. Axer as well. Like he brings the batting in, and part of that T20 winning squad. He does bring that experience as well. And I'm a big fan of Bishno. I've been very vocal about him throughout our seasons, or sorry, throughout our episodes. But yeah, not a good day for him. And just based on how Varun Chakravarti's bowling, yeah, for sure, Bishnoi would be the first person to perhaps take a seat if there's going to be any new bowling changes.
Yeah, yeah, I'm okay with that. Chakravarti's doing amazing. But yeah, let's talk about the England innings. So England came out to bat. Phil Salt, Ben Duckett opened the batting. Josh Butler one down. We've never really talked top order around because Josh Butler used to open the batting, and it looks like they've decided to get him at one down, which I find interesting because if you look at this lineup, you can argue that Livingston's probably one of their top batters right now,
Hmm.
but but Josh Butler's the more experienced and proven match winner over a longer period of time, and you would think that he should open, given how they say in T20, you want your best batter facing the most balls.
No, I see that as well, and that's sort of the philosophy that's been going forward. But there is that other school of thought of having those, perhaps people would call them those firecrackers in the beginning with Phil Salt and Ben Duckett, because we know how explosive they can be. Ben Duckett, does not play defensive shots. Everyone knows that, right? Right, and so maybe having Butler come in and one down and bringing that experience, maybe steadying the ship a little bit before you get even more
Mm.
firepower with Brooke and Livingston. Maybe that's how they're looking at it. But to your point, though, Joss Butler has proved it, across many years. And, him opening, I don't think anyone will look at that as being a bad option.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So he was the lone ranger in England's batting performance, 68 of 44. Um, I'd like to say my slog sweep is doing good. So I don't know if it was my slog sweep, but I did predict him to be the player of the series. So he's on the path for that, or the man to
He
watch out
is.
for. So yeah, he's doing good so far. The rest of the batting didn't really do much. Um, they clearly cannot pick Varun Chakravarti.
No, they could not blame. And, he's Varun Chakravarti has been that player for the last few years where India has always wanted him to be that mystery spinner, the mystery spinner where you can't pick it and you don't know if it's going in or out, and that's what it did seem like. And I'm sure you watched the match as well, where there was a few buys as well that went for fours, because even the wicketkeeper couldn't
Sanju,
pick it,
Sanju's
right?
lost.
Sanju was lost. Exactly. And with his, I think he got 2 wickets in 1 over, and he was just too good. And having those spinning options has really worked in India's favor.
Yeah, the wicket of Liam Livingston, the twofer that he took in that over, it was the eighth over where he got a Harry Brook out, who seemed like he didn't pick that ball, although it got the inside edge. But then Liam Livingston was like completely deer in headlights, playing for the leg spinner or the one that was going away from him. Ball that comes right back in, cleaned up, like it was a beautiful dismissal. And in that moment, like I was telling you off air, in that moment, like I felt like the game was over and they were only four down. And if other than a Butler special, I couldn't see them scoring much because it was like, okay, they can't pick Varun. There's 4 overs there, and Bishnoi and Akshay are not. Well, Akshay is probably, you'd say he's probably easier to get off than Bishnoi. Um, Bishnoi didn't take any wickets, but he's still, like you said, he's good economy rate, could tail the runs, right? But yeah, it felt like England were definitely undercooked for this game,
Yeah, yeah, no,
or the
I think
batting at least.
definitely. Yeah, no, I agree. And from a bowling performance, it's very evident that Varun has played a lot better than a lot had expected. But quick shout out to Arshdeep Singh in the power play, because
Mm.
it has become a habit of him to pick wickets in the power play, and taking Phil Salt and Ben Duckett, to very explosive players. That does create a lot of pressure. Especially getting those 2 quick wickets in the power play. That can sometimes be the difference of 50.
Yeah, and usually, not usually, but a lot of times, the power play can decide the game. If a team gets off to a head start, or conversely, if you lose a lot of wickets, you could lose the game right there. And he was a menace swinging the ball both ways again. He's really
Yes.
improved in his control as well. And his bouncer is unplayable. Or his short ball in general. I think he has good direction with it, like he showed against Phil Salt. Like Phil Salt, like I don't even know what he did. It seemed like he was taking evasive action, and he
No,
just
no.
stuck his bat out there,
And I think the ball did come towards a little bit more towards Phil Salt
like
than he
the
expected.
yeah, like the neck region, right?
Yeah, I kind of jab back, and then yeah, to your point, at that point, sometimes it becomes like sort of a natural reaction to just swing for it. But no, just great,
Yeah,
great, great control, and we've seen it throughout the years. Whether that's against Pakistan in Dubai, or even in the World Cup. In Australia, he knows how to swing that ball, and sorry, even in the West Indies. He's an incredible bowler during that World Cup phase as well. His bowling is in the power play is incredible,
yeah,
very underrated in my eyes.
yeah, very underrated. So India was set a target of 133. India come out to bat, and it begins. The Sanju and Abhishek show. It seemed like Sanju was off and running to another quick 50. The way he took down Gus Atkinson in that, I think it was the
Oh my
second or
gosh.
third over. What a clinic that was.
I know. And I think at that moment, I think Abhishek Sharma must have faced maybe 3 or 4 balls at that point, right? So he was
Yeah,
very much as a background actor. And to your point, it was the Sanju Samson show, and him. I'm very happy for his performances as an opener for India. We all know his story. We all know, his ups and downs in terms of selection, but I think he's really solidified himself as an opener in the T20 squad for India, and he's proven it again. And, you want those explosive starts to really, put pressure on the bowlers, especially during the power play. With obviously the field restrictions, you want to take advantage of that, right? Samson has been in form, especially under Sky's leadership with Gotham Gambhir, and I don't think they have lost a T20. I know Test cricket and the ODIs are a completely different story under Gotham Gambhir's leadership, but under T20s, him and Sky have a phenomenal record, and I think Sanju Samson's a big part of that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then you had Abhishek Sharma, 8 sixes, man, 8 sixes, incredible. 232 strike rate, 79 from 34 balls. While he was there, it felt like India was probably gonna finish the game in like, well, they still finished it off so fast, 12.5. Just looking at it, 10 and over. They
I
would they
know.
were they were scoring 200 if they were batting first.
Yeah, no, and I think we were talking about this off air as well. India after their power play, these low scoring games sometimes after the second innings power play, you can sometimes tell where the direction of the game is going, and I think it was fairly evident that it was going in India's favor. And Abhishek Sharma, as you were saying, so shout out to my slog sleep. I hoped for a couple centuries from him. Maybe if India is batting first, maybe that'll happen. But no, I think this was, equivalent to a century in terms of impact. And he's in such good form, and especially in this T20 format. And, he's also one player who's solidifying his spot in his squad.
Okay, so it's funny you mentioned that because Jaiswal is not in this team, and you would say that he would walk into this team, but in place of who?
Exactly. And Jaiswal, I know, a lot of people don't say you should look at the IPL, but Indian cricket does, unfortunately. Jaiswal, in terms of the IPL, he just hasn't had that impact that he has in sort of, let's say, the longer format of the game, right? He's a great explosive player, but it just doesn't seem like he's fully, taking advantage of this format. What are your thoughts on that?
I find it, the more I think about it, I feel like we may enter an era where we actually have different teams for each format. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think if Jaiswal only plays test cricket and maybe one days, I think that's fine. I think that's totally fine. And maybe if like, I think gone are the days where if you are a lock or a first choice for one format squad, that makes you a lock for the other formats. I think those days are done. It's okay, I think, for Jaiswal to be the number one test opener, and let's say your number three or number four opener in T20. So I think it's fine for him to be the backup for Abhishek Sharma and Sanju. I think that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But let's see if Indian cricket goes that way.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean, especially with, a lot more examples of even different captains across different formats, right? So no, I definitely agree with you. I definitely see that way the game go sorry, that's the direction the international game is going, and I agree. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think, it's good for fitness, it's good for being a specialty player, and
Mm-hmm.
if there's truly that great will play across all three formats, and you'll see that, there will be that odd player that is just a lock, and kudos to them. But you gotta really tip your hat to those who really specialize in a format, right? Scott Boland ain't gonna bowl T20s, right? But he's a lock in some test squads, right? So shout out to Scott Boland.
Yeah, 100%. That line ain't gonna work in
But yeah, no. As we were
Oh
as we were
man.
talking about, India just really took the games to storm. Yeah, even Suryakumar Yadav, he went for a duck, but no one really noticed because the game had just sort of
Yeah.
dwindled there, and Tilak Verma just and finishing the job with Hardik Pandya, both being not out. You didn't even have the Rinku Singh show or Nitish Kumar Reddy, didn't even bowl or didn't even bat, right? So it was just, I think it was really really tight and nice professional game from India.
Anything England could have done different, I felt like from the bowling perspective, they just had too many fast bowlers. They should have had at least one
Exactly.
more spinner.
No, no, exactly, exactly. I completely agree with that. I think the combination was wrong, and I believe the next game is in Chennai, so I think maybe England will maybe rest a fast bowler, and
Gus Atkinson?
he got, yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, I
Yeah,
think
right?
so.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
How do
I
you
think they'll
leave
keep
out?
Overton. I think they'll keep Overton, right? I think
Yeah,
otherwise,
just because of his batting, right? I think they like
yeah,
his batting. Although to this day, I haven't seen him do anything. But I guess they have. I mean, he's made some good performances to his credit in the 100 and their other T20 competitions that they have. But
yeah.
I haven't seen him do anything internationally. Again, we don't follow England enough. Maybe he has. And if you know, and just throw a shout out in the comments. But I feel like they'll keep him in just because of his batting. And then Atkinson's probably going to go because Wood, you can't leave him out. You can't leave out a guy that's pulling
Shout out to Wood.
155 clicks. That is just phenomenal. Like, he's one of a kind right now. I don't know if there's many other bowlers right now hitting that pace because Lockie Ferguson, I think he's back. He used to hit that pace. KG Rabada slowed down a bit, but I don't think he ever hit 150. There's a new guy from South Africa, Kwene Mafaka.
Oh yes, I've seen him. I've seen him in the league. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's hitting 150. He's hitting 150. This guy's fast. 18 years old.
That's crazy. That is crazy at 18. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. To your point though, Wood, man, you love to see it. And fast bowling is fast bowling, right?
Yes.
150 plus any batsman, it's gonna put them under pressure.
Yeah. For sure. Like this slow gives them that much less time to make a decision on what to do with the ball. So yeah. Jofra Archer, you got to play him. I think he bowled well too. Took 2 wickets, and you felt like when Surya was out, you felt like one more wicket or two would have made it interesting.
I agree.
Just because when he got out, I think it was two in the over. Yeah, two in the fifth over. So one more wicket would have probably made it a little tougher for India to chase. But yeah, I think Abhishek Sharma's innings just blew them away, and they just didn't recover after that.
Yeah, no, and I think whenever Abhishek Sharma has those innings where he makes a great 60, a great 70, India more or less wins those games, and he could get out at zero, but he can also the next innings make 70 plus, right? So he's just one
Yep.
of those players.
X Factor, baby. X
Next,
Factor. All right. Good place to end it for today. So that was T20I number one. We're going to be back for T20I number two. We can't wait. Hopefully, it's a more challenging game. We want India to win, but if England wins, we're not going to complain because that'll mean that we're going to have a best of three. But we'll see you on the next game. That's Samson today.